Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Varsha and today I have the very viral latte makeup on my face here. It's been making its rounds on TikTok, on Instagram, and every possible social media platform. In my opinion, this is nothing other than a very glowy brown smoky eye where the colors are kind of neutral, but you can obviously tailor it to the way you want. If you like this video, don't forget to like, and the subscribe button really helps me. We're gonna jump into this video right now. Can you see all this glow? I've not done anything. I've just used the EMBRYOLISSE moisturizing cream and I'm pretty shocked at how dewy it makes my skin look. I feel like, I've gotten a nice facial. By the way, I've also used the same cream to prep under my eyes. Okay, we're gonna start with color correction. You know how I usually skip this part, but today I thought, let me just include it just a little bit. So this is Bobbi Brown's color corrector in dark peach. I like to use this around my mouth. In most of the latte makeup images that I've seen, everyone's hair is messy, and that's why perfect. Like, my hair is always messy. This look even calls for extremely feathery brows, which I tried to do. I think they came out pretty well. I have a video on feathery brows. You can watch that. I'm gonna link it up here in the corner. I had a pretty, spotty week. I broke out a lot in these past 2 weeks, mostly along my chin for a change. It had been a while that I didn't break out on my chin, but I don't know what happened. Speaking about brows, I just used these two to create this very feathery look. But in my video, I did it differently, so I mean, you can just follow that video. Alright, next we're going into under eye correction, which is very essential for us people of color. I mean, if you're blessed without dark under eyes, good for you. But most of us aren't, so I'm just going to use a little bit. This is a Morphe B43 brush, something I've been using of late. I feel like it just deposits like the right amount. Also going to use a little bit of that corrector on any spots which are a little too dark, which I feel like might peek through. You can see the amount of darkness that resides in my inner corners here. So I'm just using a little bit of my Tarte Shape Tape in Tan Sand, mainly on the inner corners. In my opinion, if there isn't too much darkness for you in the inner corners, you need not do this step. You can actually just skip. Patting with the finger just kind of eliminates the chances of it creasing on your eyelids. A little bit of this L'Oreal Mercier powder, just so that I can just lightly set all this concealer that I put here. Now for base, recently I went to Sephora and I was able to snag myself one of those, the YSL new balm sachets. So this is what I have, and this is in the shade 15. Might be a little too light, a little too dark, but I also have a feeling, since I am a little tanned now, this might just work. So okay, this is definitely very yellow for my skin. So what I'll do is I'll mix it with a little bit of my HAUS Labs just to see what color we arrive at. Just patting this on my skin. Oh, good color match. I like skin to peek through. I just feel like that makes it a little more natural. For things like spots like these, what I'm thinking is I'll do a little bit of spot concealing. If needed, you can bring that down your neck if you feel like. Speaking about neck, I got a little kind of bruised myself at work. Did something really silly and that's what happened. So now when it comes to latte makeup, I feel like your bronzer and contour is something you can mix together, and this is honestly something I've been doing of late. I just feel like, all the colors would be somewhere between your bronzer and your contour. So I would say stick to that color palette almost. Today what I'm going to use are two contour products. One is the E.L.F. Halo Glow. I just got this a few weeks back, and this is the Makeup by excuse me. And this is the Makeup by Mario. I am actually going to work this on the back of my hand. You want this to be kind of glowy. Real Techniques brush. I'm going to mix these two first, almost the top here, and bring this all the way to here, somewhere like on the center of your cheek. Don't forget to take this into your hairline because you don't want to be left with that you know, with that color, like where your scalp is a different color. So just try and make it work, right? A little bit right here. I'm just chiseling out the jawline a little bit. It's getting a little hot in here because I can't put on my AC, and Vancouver is pretty much heating up at the moment. So, but we're moving on to concealer, and I have these two. I am just gonna apply. This color is quite close to my actual skin. While this is marinating, I am also going to use a little bit just in the center of my forehead here, just to bring some light back right in the center here. And I can see a few marks here, so I'm just going to tap that in. I'm blending out the concealer, and I'm not taking this too high. I usually like to use the side of my brush and just gently like, kind of spread it around. Now I'm going to mix a little bit of light beige and putting this right here. This just helps lift the eye up like crazy, even in your inner corners, but I mean that's totally optional. I'm just doing it for a little bit of highlight. Before I set anything, I'm going to move straight into blush. What I have here is Patrick She's So LA. Love this color because of how it just usually blends so well with a more sun-kissed look. A little bit on this brush. This is just a Morphe brush. And I'm gonna go right in there. Just smiling a little bit so that get the placement right. So once again, taking a little bit on my temples. The best part about this blush is it has a little cream side, so I'm just going to take a little bit of that cream, and this just adds to the intensity of the blush, keeps skin nice and dewy looking. I know I haven't set anything yet. I am just going to almost reinforce that bronzer using this amazing bronze shade because it is so glowy. It's perfect for this look. Finally going into setting the face. So I'm using Laura Mercier's translucent setting powder on my triangular puff. Let's move on to eyes. Great, for eyes, I'm going to start with a nice eyeshadow. What I have here is a Tom Ford Emotion Proof eye color, and this is in the shade Abyssinian. Start from the outer part of my eye and just start working that, really concentrating it over here as well. Honestly, one of the best brushes you can use here is this brush, which I mentioned in my top 5 brushes video. Flipping my brush, and I'm bringing this all the way high up onto my crease as well. Pull any of the remaining outwards. Now using a clean brush, blur out and just blend everything together. We can keep this quite messy because this is kind of like a quick messy look too. You know, if you just have one of these eyeshadow pots, it just makes the work so much more easy. And I'm using the same color and bringing it down, connecting this to the upper part and just really smoking it. Similarly on this side, I'm just going in first, lash line first, and then sort of gradually bring this up. Back to your fluffy brush and just make sure you kind of blend out everything. I feel like that kind of a base is pretty much sorting the whole thing out for me. What I've been loving doing is using that same bronzy shade. This brings such a beautiful sheen to the eyes. I feel like it just keeps that glam level going all over the lid. Next up, I want to give the lashes some definition. So I'm just going to use this pencil. This is the MAC pencil in Coffee. And just give like the eye this elongated feel. Also, this pencil I am going to use in my upper waterline. Just be very careful when you're doing that. I also used it a little bit on the outer corners, and using a brush, a nice pointed brush, I'm just going to really smudge that out. By the way, you can use lashes in this if you want. You know me, I'm not a lashes kind of person, so I'm just gonna skip it as usual. I also want to intensify the outer corner of my eye, so I am gonna mix these two and really just kind of brush that on the kind of outer corner, if that makes sense. Today I feel like I'm dabbling into a lot of palettes, but honestly, if you have one palette that has all these colors, just go ahead and do that. I want to bring some nice light in the inner corners of my both upper and lower lid. This shade, which is the strobe shade from this Dior palette. I could go with a little bit right under my eyes here, just to really maximize that shine. Let's get the blackest mascara you have. I'm going to use the Maybelline Sky High mascara, because this is honestly, you know how Maybelline names all their mascaras like blackest black and all that jazz. So, and use this on your bottom lashes too. Next I have this lip pencil, and it is from NYX. I'm just going to use that to very lightly line, give the lips like a really nice plump look. And I also went ahead and created some freckles using my Jason Wu. I'm gonna use Charlotte Tilbury's lipstick in Pillow Talk, because I've noticed in all these looks the lips are actually pretty pale, like a pretty pale pink. I feel like this is kinda what would get me there, but I would definitely need some gloss on top. I'm just gonna use this Dior, I forgot what it's called, but I'm just gonna use this on my lips. I want to bring a little more pink on the cheeks, so I'm just using the Glow palette, bringing this in the center here. It just felt like it was missing a little pink. And this is the finished look, you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you recreate this. I'll see you guys next week. I want you all to stay happy, stay beautiful, and